All right, welcome back, everybody. We're going into the final game of Series 1 between Mineski and Signature Trust. That last game was kind of crazy, 70-minute game. I apologize for those of you who've been not too happy about the lack of hype. As a former player, sense of humor and wit is simply not my strongest suit. I could scream like a lunatic if I'm allowed to use profanity or under the influence of narcotics, but I will refrain from doing either. So going into Game 3, I think 1-1 score right now. And the first game was quite convincing for Mineski, whereas Game 2, what looked to be an easy game for Signature Trust, got drawn out quite a bit. I'm not exactly sure at what point in the game that started happening. Perhaps the failed initiation towards bottom. But going into Game 3, basically, this is going to be, if you lose here, there's no loser's bracket in the WCA qualifiers, so both teams have to go all out. And for those of you who missed the earlier games, I mentioned WCA is a special tournament in that even if you place high in the qualifiers, you get a considerable prize pool. You get prize money just for placing high in the qualifiers. So I'm sure both of these teams are eager to place high. So going into the draft, Signature Trust, again, going to ban the Nature's Prophet and Enchantress from Game 1. And Mineski not going to change up their bans too much. It's going to be the Earth Spirit and the Wisp. And yet again, Signature Trust, they haven't changed their mind about the Doom. They really like this Doom. It's going to be a Doom first pick for Signature again. This time around, it's Mineski that pick up the Beastmaster and the Oracle. It's the two heroes that Signature used from the previous game. I think Oracle is unexpected for me. I can understand the Beastmaster because having Hawk Vision against the Doom will give your team some kind of like valuable information as to where you should be farming and perhaps counterplaying the Doom aggression. But the Oracle against the Doom, I'm not too sold on that as a counter, or it might not just be a counter, but they expect some kind of a Batrider pick for a Signature.
5 seconds remaining.
Like a prevention where if they don't pick up the Oracle or the Vengeful, perhaps they're worried that Signature will pick up the Batrider and they'll have no answer to that once Signature banned that out in the second banning phase. And Signature taking their sweet time with their second pick. Yet again, it's going to be the Witch Doctor.
Dire team back.
It's been working for them so far. In both the games, they went for a Witch Doctor, not the Witch Doctor, but sorry, a Spectre pick in both games where the lane was not the strongest. It was like Spectre, Witch Doctor, and Spectre Oracle, respectively, for Game 1 and 2. But they got denied the Oracle. I'm not even sure that they were going to pick Oracle. The last game they picked it only because they saw the Batrider. But one of those heroes that are very good as a filler pick. Like you pick the Witch Doctor, it doesn't do. There are heroes that it does really well against, but at the same time there are no heroes where you feel Witch Doctor is useless. So you just pick it, ensure your safe lane has enough diversity. You can pick almost any carry and make it work with the Witch Doctor.
5 seconds remaining.
And still reserve the last 3 picks for the cores.
Radiant team back.
So Mineski, they're a second pick here, so I'm interested to see what they have in mind. If that Oracle was some sort of plan, perhaps they have some kind of cool strat in mind. I know Mineski used to be one of those teams that were quite fond of the Dazzle Huskar when Huskar was one of the more popular heroes. Since Oracle got introduced to Captain's Mode, we haven't seen any Oracle Huskar combos, or at least I haven't, so that would also be a pretty nice combo to see. If it's the right game for it, of course. Bounty Hunter going to be the ban for Mineski. I can agree with this. Bounty Hunter is extremely annoying to play against as a when you don't have supports that can counteract the Bounty Hunter, and already Mineski are committed to an Oracle pick. Oracle not the best hero at finding a Bounty Hunter and dusting him and just grabbing him on the spot. But usually heroes like Disruptor are pretty good for that. You need time for your heroes to be able to come into the distance where you can kill the Bounty Hunter. But Oracle, his Purifying Flames, it's a channeling spell that it's going to catch the Bounty Hunter way too far away. And again, both Invoker and OD have been banned. In game 1, each of these teams banned one each, but in this game, Signature choosing, definitely last game, Invoker was one of the reasons that the game lasted so long. Felt like he did a really good job of pushing out the waves, as well as being instead of the Ember being the centerpiece for defense, it was Invoker who made it almost impossible to walk up the hill without compromising some aspect of your high ground. And it's going to be a puck for Mineski. So maybe something similar to what we saw in game 1, where Mineski go with a less greedy approach. They're going to have so much control between the puck and Beastmaster. In fact, I think these two are like top tier in terms of control in their respective lanes. Beastmaster may be losing out to the Batrider, but then again, he doesn't need to Blink Dagger. And Signature Trust, I want to see if they go for a Spectre again, because this is when they picked Spectre in the second phase until now. They're going to be having some flashbacks to game 1 where their Spectre pick definitely didn't see the light that they wanted to. It never really got any items. It just got raxed early on in the game. It's good. Night Stalker pick is quite interesting. This is the almost identical draft to what they were having in game 1, just the order is a bit mixed up. Yeah, Mineski have to be thinking the same thing. One of the reasons I think Signature picked the Night Stalker is to cancel out the Beastmaster vision. So once Night Stalker gets Ags or just high levels in general, he's going to limit the vision of Mineski so much regardless of the scouting from Beastmaster. But this time, Signature have the first pick, whereas in game 1 they had second pick. So I think the smart thing to do for Signature Trust is possibly leave their carry or whichever hero they think is going to be the Joker card for their team last, and pick the perfect fit when they see all of Mineski's heroes. Mineski taking their sweet time. Just looking at Signature's lineup, I don't see any obvious choices for a carry. And they're going to go with the Disruptor, one of their choices from game 1. And just based on the cooldown and level of aggression we can expect from these 4 heroes from Mineski, I think something like in game 1 it was a Lifestealer, but perhaps a Juggernaut could be nice against a Doom. And they need some source of hero tower push. You have the Beastmaster who can potentially buff off your carry to low down towers. They don't have the Nature's Prophet, but
reserve time.
One of the reasons that I think Signature Trust lost game 1 is their lack of wave clear and D push. They had Zeus, but okay, they go with a Medusa, a completely different approach from the Spectre. I'm thinking Signature Trust are going to ban out their AM.
Seconds remaining.
The Zeus ban for Mineski. That's kind of weird that they banned out the Zeus. I don't think Zeus would have been that good on Signature's lineup. But maybe Mineski are thinking, as long as we are able to not get lamed at the high ground, where you have both a Medusa and a Zeus, so potentially Signature can just indefinitely hold high ground against Mineski and come back off just pure farm. And it's Juggernaut actually being banned by Signature Trust. I'm not sure why. I mean, of course, even just not looking at the individual counters, hero to hero, Juggernaut would have been pretty good against Mineski's lineup. I mean, against Signature's lineup. It synergizes well with the pace of the game that Mineski are looking to play with these 4 heroes, but Juggernaut is quite bad against Medusa, in my opinion.
5 seconds remaining.
And Mineski are actually the ones with the Spectre pick. I actually kind of got tunnel vision into thinking that Spectre was Signature Trust hero. But yeah, it's one of those. I can see this working really well for Mineski as well. It's they have the control to make sure that Haunt is almost always going to lead to something. So every 2 minutes, that Haunt is the longest cooldown. Beastmaster Roar and Dream Coil will most definitely be available, and as Puck and Beastmaster finds anyone, dead core. And Signature going to go with a super greedy draft. They are going to pick up an Alchemist on top of a Medusa. Interestingly, I don't really see the difference in the nicknames between the Medusa player and the Alchemist player. Because it could be a mid Medusa and a safe lane Alchemist, or the other way around. Is this actually allowed? That Signature, they are basically all playing with the same nicknames or something. Or never mind, it didn't really show up during the big phase. But Lakel's being pink, I think it's or is Lakel's pink? We'll find out shortly, but that is an insanely greedy draft from Signature Trust. If it's the same safe lane Alchemist, I can potentially see it getting a super fast Radiance, and then pulling Ags to his teammates later on. Like the Witch Doctor on Signature Trust is going to play a hard fight position. Otherwise, he would never get an Aghanim Scepter. But with the Alchemist, that shouldn't be too far-fetched. And it's actually my pro playing the Alchemist. Alchemist versus Puck. Shouldn't be the easiest of lanes, but compared to game 1 where my pro was Zeus against the Puck and he had to play against the threat of Enchantress and Nature's Prophet roaming in, it should be a piece of cake, relatively speaking. But Mineski making some kind of unconventional smoke gank here. Possibly going to... Yeah, they're going to wait for the Night Stalker to come closer. It's almost as if Signature Trust know this.
30 seconds to battle.
Awkward engagement here where it doesn't look like either team is going to give up a face bar. The rune is still 15 seconds from spawning, so better trade for Signature for sure. The Puck does not have a salve. He lost a lot of regen, and if he doesn't even get a bounty rune here, he's in some big trouble.
The battle
he has used up all his regen. He didn't even use the Ironwood branch to double the regen from the Tango, so that much needed advantage for Alchemist to win his lane has been secured for the team. And Disruptor, Disruptor realizes that Puck is in a difficult spot. He doesn't have regen. He has to actually farm his regen. So he's gonna make sure that Puck gets some easy CS. Ferry some more, at least a salve for sure against the Alchemist. top lane doing? It's pretty standard, like Witch Doctor against Medusa. Thankfully for Beastmaster, Medusa is not one of those aggressive heroes like, let's say, a Juggernaut or a Gyrocopter who could potentially just run in while the Beastmaster is trading with Witch Doctor. And oh, he actually blinked in for that. He would have almost certainly died if Alchemist had the balls to turn around and men fight him. But Alchemist also choosing to play safe. He knows he has an edge right now. He had a good start. He got the bounty rune, whereas Puck did not, and Puck burned through all that regen, so doesn't have to be too greedy. It's a matter of preference. Maybe BBA. Oh, that, I think Disruptor is going to get first blood. Yes, just barely. Good first blood for Signature Trust. Doesn't have the biggest impact on the game though, I feel, because they are still facing against the tri-lane, and sometimes if the offlaner gets the first blood, it makes the safe lane so much harder. But in this case, I don't think the dynamics of this lane has changed too much from that encounter. But yeah, in the early game, this is looking a bit troubling for Mineski, as Alchemist is basically winning a lane that he should not be. But maybe with this Disruptor DD, that'll change. He has a DD. I think Alchemist is dead. Nice rotation from Disruptor. Didn't quite catch how he managed to sneak up with the Alchemist, as it is daytime, and going from the bottom lane to the mid lane through that river area is quite transparent from Dark's perspective. And Puck got the kill onto Alchemist, but again, Alchemist is not, he's just gonna farm in this lane, and once he hits the level 6, that Chemical Rage is going to make it impossible for Puck to do anything about Alchemist farm. They need to instantly address that. Rotate in more ganks like this from the Disruptor, or the Beastmaster rotates in, or they use Haunt. Look at this Alchemist, he actually tanked both of these heroes on Mineski. Nice kill from this offlane duo from Signature Trust. Might slow down the Spectre a bit, as Disruptor has been busy helping Puck with the mid lane, which means every time Oracle is pressured like that, Spectre is not going to have free farm. A nice bounty rune for the Alchemist. Oh, Disruptor, that was... I mean, I guess I was going to say that was not the play, but there wasn't much of a play that he could have done either. Valkyrie just going for some friendly harass here. Paralyzing Cascades, but Valkyrie doesn't really have... yeah, he's not going to die to a single Mystic Snake that doesn't even bounce. Again, guys, I am terribly sorry for my lack of hype, but I mean, I'm not really used to doing this solo. Disruptor hiding in the trees here. If they... Oh my god, Valkyrie, that was a kill that shouldn't happen, but Lakel's playing aggressive there. I mean, there was no risk for Lakel's in the first place. It was just like, if it doesn't work out, whatever, but it did work out, so it's a happy Lakel's. This Alchemist though, he has half the relic, I mean not really half the gold for relic, but probably a much better start for an Alchemist against a Puck lane than any team, either team would have expected. And Mineski, their other lanes aren't going terribly well either. Their safe lane, Spectre Trolley has been finding stable farm, but his supports are suffering, and that's what really keeps the safe lane stabilized. You want your supports to feel free to pull, get levels. Compared to the opponent's supports, you want a faster level 6. But when your supports are being strained like this, you got to help them out as the carry, and that will play some kind of it will have an effect on your level of farm. And nighttime has hit, so Trolley kind of respecting the Night Stalker, the power of the Night Stalker. As we can expect from Signature's hero pool, this is a pretty passive lineup right now. Alchemist and Medusa are going to farm pretty much non-stop. I don't see Alchemist really fighting before he has that, looks to be a Radiance. He's gonna farm a Radiance on, there's no reason he wouldn't have bought any items until now. And then Medusa, what can really Medusa do? He can farm aggressively and then get gone on purpose, but this is even greedier than, I would say, the last game where Signature Trust, they went for a Spectre Phantom Lancer duo core. Puck and Disruptor will find MyPro eventually. Perhaps not. It's 8 minutes. They have to know that Alchemist is going to go check for the rune. But if he gets on Chemical Rage or whatever. Oh my god. Holy. Oh, he actually went for the armlet. I didn't catch that. I'm not actually in the game, but what a disaster for Mineski. Oh, this might have been one of those builds that I've been seeing, Armlet into Radiance, because the Armlet is so valued early on for survivability, as well as enables Alchemist to do some fighting.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But this is a dream start for Alchemist. In fact, I think it's going to be as if the Alchemist didn't even have to spend gold to buy the armlet. If he wants to go Radiance from here, he could probably get it at around the usual time. Luckhells has quietly been free farming at top after that solo kill, unexpected solo kill onto Baccarino's Beastmaster. What are Mineski really going to do now that Haunt is not available? They simply have not enough damage between the Beastmaster and Puck. That's one of the downsides. During the draft I mentioned, Puck and Beastmaster in terms of control are amazing, but Puck does not have enough levels to cast high-level silence. I'm gonna go on the Night Stalker, who should be dead by all rights. But is that enough is my question, as this Alchemist just runs in. His Night Stalker is feeling pretty good about tanking the spells. It just makes it that much safer for his already farmed cores to farm even more. Nice glimpse there by the Disruptor. Can't let the Alchemist get even more bounty runes. He's been quite lucky with the bounty runes so far this game.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, it's only 10 minutes in and Alchemist has more than 3k gold on top of an armlet. Looking really troublesome for Mineski. Compared to net worth, Alchemist has, I know it's an Alchemist, but still it's at 7.5k, whereas Mineski's top net worth hero is a Spectre with under 4k. Alchemist gonna go for the value stack here. If he gets a double stack, that should ensure that he gets a relic. See the courier going over to Secret Shop. With the early game fail from Mineski, I feel they are reluctant to go all out onto the Alchemist or the Medusa, who are both the tanky cores that you generally expect to be able to abuse before they get their items rolling. But Medusa had a pretty nice lane. One of the weaknesses about Medusa is that her laning is kind of piss poor and you can abuse it, but in this case she had a really good time. And Alchemist as well in the mid lane had the dream start. He even got a lot of kills this game. Buck gets doomed and oh, he actually gets denied. It looked like Doom's blast should have killed him off. Mineski are getting steamrolled here with a lineup that I thought was one of the greediest that you can imagine.
Radiant's middle tower.
There is a 12-minute relic on top of an armlet for Alchemist.
Radiant structures are fortified.
You know, in game 2 we had a 70-minute game, but for the final game of this series, unless Mineski do something miraculous, immediately they are going to run into some kind of death ball of signature and inevitably just lose the game. Puck does have almost enough gold for a Blink Dagger, perhaps another minute or two, so opens up the possibility for Mineski to do said miraculous things. Radiance complete for Alchemist. What's Medusa going, I wonder, with the Void
Dire's
Stone?
middle tower is under attack. Dire's
Probably the
structures
Lincoln
are
Sphere.
fortified.
There's a Dreamful initiation onto the Alchemist and Witch Doctor, Night Stalker rather, from Mineski. Nice 2 kills from Mineski, but the Alchemist knows that they probably can't really kill him. And then Disruptor. Oh man, that was okay for, it was looking good for Mineski, but the cores on Signature Trust are just too strong right now, and when they use their initial burst of spells, that could, like, you don't have enough DPS to kill the carries anyway, but when you use it on someone else like the Night Stalker and Witch Doctor, they're just gonna run over you. And Vlad's complete for the Doom. Probably means a easy Roche for Signature Trust. They've consistently played Dire in this series.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Chemical acid spray, I'm sorry, with the Vlads should make it quite easy for Signature Trust to get Roche on.
Radiant's bottom tower
This has to be
is
some
under
kind of
attack.
record for Alchemist too. That much gold, that much net worth this early on. He bought a boost of travel recipe, I bet, with that 2k gold he had. And Medusa, Medusa is going to be jumped shortly, but Signature Trust are in a fairly good position to respond to this right away. In fact, they are TPing the Alchemist. They know he's going to get got on, and the Signature Trust will get the jump onto the Beastmaster. The Witch Doctor gets cleaned up instantly, but again, like the fight at mid, they are fighting against basically 4 tanky heroes. Nice kinetic field from Disruptor. Night Stalker was holding on to his Void, knowing that Disruptor would TP out, but
Radiant's top tower
Oracle
is
playing with
under
fire
attack.
here as he somehow got stuck into this spot without during the fight, and he didn't quite want to TP out. Here goes Signature right into the Roche pit. Spectre is the net worth leader for Mineski, but I wonder how much that really matters at this point. One of the things that Spectre does so well is to prey on the weak ones in the opposing team, like mainly their support. But with everyone except the Witch Doctor, and even Witch Doctor is one of the better supports against Spectre because he can sustain. If Spectre does a haunt in right next to you, you can sustain the damage from it with his Voodoo Restoration. But Doom, Night Stalker, Medusa, Alchemist, these heroes generally won't give a crap about the haunt damage. And oh, I actually missed it on Spectre. Actually haunted in and still snatched Aegis. What a player, truly. And even if he died there, I wouldn't even blame him. He had to try for these kind of plays where he knows this game is like it's very close to impossible to win for Mineski right now. He has to just do everything, use every trick in his book to somehow get back into it, and that is one of them. As amazing as that was for him to snatch Aegis, that was not enough. There's that war onto Lakel's, and even Lakel's gets picked off here. What's going on for Signature? Is this actually happening? Spectre doesn't have mana, but he does have Aegis. Oh, just look at how fast he dies. Can't believe that's actually a Spectre. Yeah, Signature are gonna back out after this. They've made the biggest mistake so far in this game. I wouldn't call getting the Aegis stolen a mistake, but after that, Lakel's getting picked off. They're so far ahead, just the net worth wise, they shouldn't be dying. Oh, Signature Trust. If they did get the Aegis, that would have been just so depressing for Mineski. That's a really good source of motivation for your team. Like, I'm just gonna go on a tangent here, but if you're actually playing on the Mineski side right now, you need something like that to happen. Otherwise, the players, they know deep inside that they kind of lost this game, but they'll just kind of play it out. But whenever one of your players goes out and does things like that, like the impossible, mission impossible, then you get a surge of motivation. You get inspired to try actually to win instead of just playing the game out. Disruptor, again, going to make that narrow escape with a well-placed kinetic field.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It looks like Signature Trust are back on track. They are not going to get too phased by that stolen Aegis. They're just going to push it. Alchemist, I've noticed, has been having some mana regen issues for some reason.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
With the higher level chemical rage that shouldn't be too big of an issue. He's probably going to end up going altering core anyway. Signature just going from one tower to the next. They don't really care too much about Spectre getting farm at this point. Spectre actually bought a relic. I think he did. He has 9k net worth and there was something on the career. Nice initiation by the top. But it's not going to lead to anything more. Oh yeah, the Medusa gets glimpsed and he doesn't have Stone Gaze. Mineski successful in clearing out two of the most farmed heroes on Signature Trust. I mean, Alchemist fought back and they actually killed the creep before Alchemist TP's in. But still, Signature kind of going at it strong. Kill off Trolley. Night Stalker. Oh, that was like an unintentional juke. Hawk doesn't have too much mana though. He has to be careful. Nice soccer. Walking away with three key gold from that triple kill. I don't know how Nice Soccer ended up getting a triple kill, but yeah, that was an amazing fight for Mineski. They actually, I didn't think they'd stand a chance against what Signature have, and I think Signature was also thinking something similar. Like, if we stand the Alchemist here and Medusa here, we're not going to die. But Alchemist maybe a bit too far. He was actually like behind the tower, and his teammates didn't really want to commit there too much. Okay, Trolley actually bought Manta, not the Radiance. I think going Manta Diffusal this game might be more effective than going for the Radiance. He needs to somehow burn the Medusa's mana. Alchemist, his Radiance is, not sure why, but yeah, they're gonna go finish the job that they were meant to do earlier. Maybe a bit more respectful. My pro, he's been unkillable. He should be unkillable for sure, except he put himself in a position where he was completely isolated. Just a bit of a cocky play from him.
Dire's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And Night Stalker actually goes for the Crimson Guard instead of the usual Admin Infector. Not sure how I feel about this. Crimson Guard, I think the reason he went is because of Beastmaster summons, and then you have to you want to block the damage from Spectre Illusions. The thing about Medusa, I don't know the exact interaction between the damage block and Mana Shield, but Mana Shield generally doesn't really care about damage amplification. So. Nitro again getting caught out here. And Doom gets glimpsed. Very nicely done by the Disruptor. Hawk barely going to make it out of here as the Doom gets Doom ends on him. But yeah, these are the kind of plays that Mineski need, and I was a doubter just a few minutes ago, but it's starting to look like Mineski can actually do this. He can actually, Signature Trust, their mistakes are proving to be more costly than I initially thought. Puck again getting false promised, just to be sure, even though Puck shouldn't really be dying here with that Doom available. Trolley making the run. Kind of a clowny engagement here, as I don't understand what either team really wanted to do. The Puck escaped earlier and he came back, just trying to get some harassment out. Night Stalker running at the Spectre, but he doesn't have anyone to follow up, so they're kind of wasting time here. And soon Roche should be spawning, and this time around Signature definitely do not want to. How did Alchemist actually get a kill onto the Beastmaster? I have no idea. It's not like he has a Blink Dagger. Alchemist should be okay. There's no Haunt available for Spectre. And the Dire Courier already in place at the Roche to just go straight as the Roche spawns. No waiting for it. Maybe Signature will make some kind of play, not be too cocky, and just try a smoke play before the going for Roche. Get a pick off to ensure that they are going to be less likely to be contested.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Mineski actually going to fight into this? Signature aren't really committing anything. They have an Alchemist and a Medusa there. This time more appropriately positioned. Draw the lines. Witch Doctor is just saying push out mid and bottom and we can take the Aegis. But not before that. We don't want something clowny happening at the Roche Pit again, where Spectre just takes that Aegis again somehow. And no one's pushing bottom lane for Signature Trust, but I'm sure they're going to come as a group to defend. I mean, their tower's been lost, but more importantly, they need to push out the waves and secure themselves some room to go Roche safely. The Alchemist has that completed Octarine, the quadruple set, the Boost of Travel, Octarine Core, Radiance Manta. I think from now he just wants to focus on items that's going to keep him alive. As long as he stays alive, just the fact that he has Radiance is going to make him quite annoying in team fights. So maybe something like Shiva's Guard, AC, possibly a BKB, although I don't think BKB is all that necessary in this game. It's not like the magical damage burst is high from Mineski. It's going to help him, but probably low on the priority list. Interesting that Alchemist actually got the Aegis. I would assume that Medusa would be the one to get the Aegis, but maybe they are thinking that Alchemist is going to actually hit the towers instead of Medusa. So he also used that buyback earlier, so that might explain things. And Alchemist actually has a DD room here. This is going to make this push quite fearsome for Mineski. An Aegis Alchemist who is already hard to kill with a double damage rune. Just means you have to respond to that free damage that Alchemist is going to get. And if they lose this team fight big, it's gonna lead to more Raxes. They don't have any tier 2s being a cushion for the other lanes. Or if we're using that disarm on the Alchemist, but just look at him go.
Dire's top tower, Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Signature are positioning themselves really well right now. Unlike the earlier fail at bottom tier 2, where Alchemist was way too up front. This time he has an Aegis. Medusa is just close enough, but far enough not to get initiated together. Jab's kind of way too far up. And interestingly, Disruptor getting doomed, even though Disruptor was able to use the full range of his spells. And the Signature, I think, yeah, just go for the towers. You forced out a Haunt, and no one really important died. In fact, Night Stalker bought back. And the fact that you have the Alchemist tanking the towers like this all day for you. Second line of racks, and most likely GG from Mineski, I feel. It's not even a question of whether they have buybacks or not. They simply don't have the cooldowns to back it up. They don't have the Haunt, they don't have Roar, they don't have Dream Coil. This being the final game of the series, however, I don't think Mineski are going to tap out so easily. So in the end, they lost a set of racks and a melee racks at mid. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty bad, even for a Spectre lineup, because Signature have their own set of ridiculous late game heroes. You can potentially see the Night Stalker and the Doom and the Witch Doctor with Ags later on. That's one of the things that I forgot to mention. I was questioning the Night Stalker going Crimson Guard, but now it all makes sense. They're thinking Alchemist is having such a good game. In most scenarios, Alchemist giving Aghanims to his teammates is not all that likely. But in this game, he is going to for sure get full slotted, and if it gets to the point, he's going to have no problems just passing on Aghanim Scepters like candy. But for now, yeah, he's going to focus on his AC. I think passing out Aghanim Scepter is like an end game thing more than... unless your Aghanim Scepter carry is potentially so game breaking, like in Undying, for example. Mineski, they do have their full set of abilities available, but Bacarino just gets zoomed off the bat. He got scouted out. There is a buyback from him, but Kills is actually BKB. This is so unfortunate for basically everyone on Mineski. The destruction of Static Storm was completely wasted. They wouldn't even have done that much anyway. He doesn't really care too much about getting silence. Alchemist does have the Aegis, but he's still gonna play it safe and regen it back up. The Witch Doctor is back in 15 seconds, and it looks like Signature's lineup don't really have any issues with sustain. They could potentially just go right away. They have to know Mineski's lineup function around cooldowns right now. And Lakel's is okay, he's gonna get more mana.
We'll take that.
Witch Doctor gonna go for that Ags, yeah. Even if your Alchemist is having such a good game, usually going for Ags on a Witch Doctor yourself is often faster. The Alchemist is, he can buy a Moon Shard, he can upgrade the Boost of Travel, and then once he gets an Aghanim Scepter, he can pass it on to like I think Night Stalker is the first priority that you want to give the Aghanim Scepter to, then Witch Doctor, then Doom. Here comes this push from Signature Trust. It looks like they didn't care too much about the cooldowns being available again for Mineski. It's more about stability and safety. After all, they are quite ahead in net worth and should feel confident just taking a straight up fight between Michael. He dodges the Static Storm. ABBA. A bit out front. He doesn't really care right now. He thought his team would just take the rack, but looking like there's no one to defend this. I mean, they just got mega creeped. The journey for Mineski ends here. And GG is called from Mineski. I think realistically it was over 10 minutes ago, but yeah, it's the final game of the series. Alright guys, that concludes Series 1 of today between Mineski and Signature Trust. Signature Trust win 2-1. I think the last game was, it was sort of rough for Mineski because that was definitely not the kind of game that they were expecting. They were probably thinking something more along the lines of Game 1, where they were able to come out ahead in the laning stage and crush the mid game. But they actually had a weird engagement at level 1 where they themselves went for a smoke onto the Dire Hill at the tier 1 tower, and then from there on Alchemist got an advantage, and all the lanes went pretty well for Signature Trust, and they were being the aggressors in the mid game. But congratulations for Signature for making it to the next round, and after a short break we'll come back to you with the next series between Tearing and Warriors Gaming.